Hello, Wanderers, and welcome back to our Game of Thrones roleplay series following House Blackwood. And as you can see here, we are looking at Raven Tree Hall, the seat of House Blackwood. But this is not where our Lord Tytos is at the moment. Indeed, we are with the army of the Riverlands besieging Deepland, sworn to House, I believe it is House Goodbrook here, as you can see. And they have decided to side with the Targaryens in the War of the Usurper. And so we are sieging down their provinces. This army is being led by Lord Jonas Bracken, who is our rival. And although he is the Marshal of the Riverlands, obviously we would be chafing a bit at being put in a position where he can give us commands, give us orders. Although we are a very powerful lord ourselves and probably have some degree of autonomy with our army, we have been put under the command of Lord Jonas, and as a honorable and just character, we don't really have much choice but to submit to the leadership of Lord Jonas, despite how much that may pain us. So while that goes on and while the siege rolls on, I do want to do one thing before we start time, and that is to modify our vassal contract with our Lord Hoster Tully. As you'll remember in the last episode, we did get a hook on him, which gives us a little bit of leeway when it comes to adjusting our vassal contract. So one thing that we're going to do right away is we are going to switch over to become a march. Obviously, as you will have seen in the last episode, the Riverlands, and basically all of the coastline here have been raided by the Ironborn pretty extensively. And considering that it is only House Blackwood and House Mallister that is protecting the coast and preventing the Ironborn raiders from getting further into the Riverlands, I think it makes a lot of sense that we would become a march. That's going to be awesome because that gives us less taxes, increases or decreases our army gold maintenance, controlled territory defender advantage +5, levy size +20%, garrison size +20%, levy reinforcement rate +20%. Huge bonuses to becoming a march, and obviously we are going to do that. We don't need to use our hook to do this either, so that is even better. But we can use our hook to get one of these. We would be able to use it to lower our feudal levies or our feudal taxes. Not super important right now. The one thing that I want to do, fortification rights would be great, council rights would be great, but the thing that I most want to do is get a war declaration sanctioned, because that will allow us to go to war with the House of Bracken, even if Hoster Tully raises his crown authority to a point where we wouldn't normally be able to do that. We want to make sure that we can act fully against the Bracken house if they do anything that would cause us to see an advantage in acting against them. So that is how we're going to modify our vassal contract. It's maybe there would be better, more mechanically advantageous things, but for the story, I want to make sure that we have the full capacity to fight against our rivals if the situation arises. To that end, I'm going to go into my council here. As you can see, the council is a little bit different. We have made Walgrave our maester. We've put him in the position of the Castellan, thanks to the people in the comments who let me know how this Castellan role works. If you have a character who has higher base skills, higher than 10, I believe it is, you can have a few unique interactions with them. And because Walgrave has such high learning, we get a couple of options related to that. So he can increase our learning, which is a pretty good bonus there, or we can have him assigned to convene the clergy, which I think probably isn't really as helpful, but we can also do a few different options. Like he could oversee the realm here, which could give us fort level +2, garrison size +10. That would be pretty awesome, actually. Or we could have him oversee the realm, which gives us extra martial and monthly martial lifestyle experience. That's pretty good as well. I wouldn't mind increasing our martial lifestyle experience even faster, because we can get some nice bonuses from this. So I think I'll stick him on that for the next little while. One thing I also want to do is I want to go down here to our seer and get her to fabricate a claim probably on Sally Dance here. I think if we get a chance, we might try to pry Sally Dance away from the hands of House Bracken, kind of make it a little incursion across the river here. That is actually currently being held by Lord Jonas himself. So if we can take that from him, that will be our first chance to act against them. But we won't be able to do that during the Civil War. I don't think it would be looked well upon if we were to go to war with our supposed allies, really. I mean, we're all fighting against the Iron Throne at the moment, so I don't think it would make a lot of sense to attack them right now. That wouldn't be an honorable thing to do while we are at war with an enemy. Well, we shall... Oh, what do we have here? Oh, there must be a fight. Are we in a battle? Oh, we are in a battle, and looks like looks like a battle that is definitely going against us. Although we can't see the numbers here because my face is in the way, so we can't see what the numbers of this fight are, unfortunately. But as you can see here, just by this little thing, clearly we are losing the fight, and we are engaging in single combat. Who is this? Lord Paxter of House Pommingham. Ooh, he's a pretty skilled warrior, but he is wounded. So let's see how this goes. For a few brief moments, Lord Paxter and I pace in lazy half circles, each watching for an opening. I have my sword ready to defend myself while he clutches his sword firmly to hand. This fight may only be till first blood, but that doesn't ease my nerve. With a sudden twitch, our bout begins. With surprising speed, Paxter unleashes a powerful cleave of his sword, nearly knocking my sword loose. Probing attack. Let's try a probing attack here. Picking my moments carefully, I make several quick strikes, knocking Paxter this way and that, slowly widening his guard. Paxter shifts into a defensive stance, his sword forming a damn near impenetrable wall of perfect parries between me and him. My form is decent with some lapses, and his stance is passable. We are evenly matched, with victory balancing on a knife edge. Foolish knave, can't you do better? We could do better than men than you have died trying to break my guard. Low chance doesn't increase our... Medium? Yeah, okay. I think then we're going to try to go defensively here. My sword is a better protector than any shield, parrying, countering, and guarding against Paxter's every move. Wherever he moves his sword, my sword is there waiting. Paxter is famed for his abilities with the sword, and he reminds me of this with a perfect flowing chain of quick slashes, punctuated by the occasional terrifyingly powerful cleave. My form is good with only small errors, and his stance is formidable. Let's see here. Oh, by hammer and sword, scum. Enthusiastic onslaught, you charge in, swinging wildly. High increase to our likelihood of success? Let's try that. I have a sword, I have an enemy, and I'm determined to introduce the two by any means. Wild swings, backhanded smack, flailing strikes from my weapon's pommel, anything to batter my foe. Paxter shifts into a defensive stance, his sword forming a damn near impenetrable wall. My form is deteriorating fast with numerous exploitable gaps, and his stance is incredible. That is unfortunate. Let's see here. Ooh, but we could have a blow from my sword and a kick to the gut. Let's try it. Determined to see my opponent toppled, I throw my entire weight into a powerful cleave that sends him reeling, following up with a vicious kick. Paxter is sent reeling, and I don't let the opportunity go to waste, flying in a storm of quick slashes that beat him screaming into the dirt. Weakly, my foe twitches his sword hand, trying to muster up the will to defy me further. I simply ready my weapon to cut his throat, at least till I hear a trembling yield. So on the field of battle here, we met this Reachman, Lord Paxter of House Pommingham, and we managed to defeat him in battle, despite him being like a pretty skilled and formidable fighter. In fact, an aspiring blade master here. This guy's a good fighter. And you know, he's got a few years on us as well. That was a good win for Lord Tytos. I think he probably made a little bit of a name for himself by defeating this pretty well-known and strong warrior here. We are victorious, so he gains the trait severely injured. I stand over the broken form of Lord Paxter, broken but not dead. The battle rages on around us, and there's no time to waste. I must either kill him or claim him. Squire, put Lord Paxter in chains. Yeah, I think the honorable thing to do is to imprison Lord Paxter. So there we go. Unfortunately, it looks like the Riverlands army is going to get absolutely crushed here. Oh, and we lost an eye in the battle. Oh dear, look at that. So our prowess has gone down a little bit, but we look kind of epic, so... We have a streak of having these one-eyed characters, but that was a pretty cool battle, and despite the fact that the Riverlands army was completely obliterated there under the command of Lord Jonas, no less, maybe he's not the best commander, we still have made a name for ourselves in that battle, and now we have but one eye, looking fearsome there, as it were. And we do have our prisoner as well, so let's take a look here. Indeed, Lord Paxter is our prisoner. We could ransom him. 50 coins. I mean, that is an option. I think we may ransom him maybe towards the end of the war. We get a perk, which is good. Retreat losses, Parthian tactics. I think probably hit and run. We're going to go down there for now. So we're looking even more epic than we were when we started this story. And having won that battle, I think that is going to be a very, well, not the battle, but winning that duel. I think that's going to be an important, notable event in the lifetime of young Lord Tytos. As I tour the streets of Raventree Hall, surrounded by my usual entourage of guards and courtiers, I see something which gives me cause to stop and gasp. A peasant beggar with nothing to protect himself from the elements but mud and rags stares back at me with desperate, pleading eyes. I would have moved on, but there was something almost familiar about this lowborn. It is then that a member of my procession points out that he is the spitting image of me. It is harrowing to see my mirror image wallowing in filth, but perhaps I can do something to correct this cosmic justice. Who is this man? Theobald. I wonder if he just so happens to be a, bastard member of House Blackwood. He'll join me at court? Well, maybe he will. It gives us a little bit of stress, but he is a good character, and he potentially could serve us well, even just as a knight in our court. So it's unfortunate that the Riverlander army was defeated in that battle, but we will have to do what we can. Oh, it looks like we're back down to sieging once again, though. As you can see here, we have joined up with the army of Harrenhal. What? To the brash Tytos fop doodle. Your crimes against me are reprehensible. Meet me in single combat and let battle judge our differences. Oh, so he waits until we lose an eye in battle, and now he wants to fight us. We might have called him out on the fact that he, let the Riverlander army get caught in between the walls of the castle there and the enemy armies. We'll accept. Lord Jonas and I stalk around each other, each weighing our options. He hefts a fearsome sword while I grip my own sword tightly. The deadly weapon feels cool and weighty in my grasp. This fight may only be till first blood, but that doesn't ease my nerve. Ooh, okay. Let's try a blow from my sword and a kick to the gut. That worked well for us in the last one. With a powerful cleave from my sword, I send Jonas reeling backwards, then step into the blow and kick him straight in the chest. He pulls back from my every blow, letting me attack without getting another solid hit in. It's not long before I can feel myself beginning to tire. My form is decent, His stance is incredible. He'll never see this coming. To the floor with you. I think we could try to do a surprise attack. And look at that! In combat, surprise often wins out, and that holds true here. Whatever else Jonas may be, he's damn good at holding his guard. It's more luck than skill when I finally managed to break through with a quick slash, pushing my sword's point up against his throat. We both stay frozen for far too long while Jonas evaluates his options. It takes a wild look and a sudden twitch to force a yield from the stubborn man. I am really surprised we beat that. He had a really big advantage in terms of his prowess, but we won that fight. That's 2 duels in this one episode. That is quite impressive here. So we are victorious against our rival Jonas. He gains some stress, we lose some stress, and I think that might... I wonder if that counts towards our house feud here. Doesn't look like it has, but either way, I think that just goes to show which one of us is the greater warrior, don't you think, Lord Jonas? House Bracken. They think they're all that. They are not. So, I mean, despite the fact that our army may have lost the battle there, we have proven ourselves as an extremely capable warrior. So we're going to let time go up again, let the siege roll on. We are, once again, as we saw with that army. Hopefully we don't get caught by this, because that looks really scary. That's basically the entire army of the Targaryen, those who have sided with the Targaryens right there. So hopefully, I have no idea where Robert Baratheon is. He's in over here for some reason. I mean, he's got a lot of troops, and he's still got his allies in the Vale and in the north, and obviously the Riverlands army is pretty much crushed here. Westerlands have not joined in either side yet. We'll see if they do decide to. I mean, war score is ticking up in favor of our team, which is good, but we'll have to just see how things play out in that regard. No sign of the Ironborn yet, but I don't think they're far away. I mean, they're right here, but I mean, I don't think that they're far from coming back and raiding us once more. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. And then there you go. As you can see, our army was once again caught out here. Who was leading the army this time? Was it the army of Lord Jonas again? Probably. He probably let us get caught once again. And there we go. As you can see, the entire Riverlands army was just completely evaporated there. And unfortunately, I mean, we did win the siege, though. We did siege down Deepland. But the Riverlands are going to take a long time to recover after that. Luckily, we did manage to escape. Greetings, Lord Tytos. I would be delighted if your son and heir Brendan could visit my court in Lampwood. Who are you? Lord Willem Deddings? Very well. We'll send our son there. He's 5 years old. He's almost old enough to get an education. I think we'll make him our ward. And once he gets old enough, we will probably get him to become a squire as well. So let's let time go on a little bit here. Our army is building up, which is good. We are pretty comparable to House Bracken, which is nice. Can we do any decisions here? That would be helpful. Nothing too good. I'd like to do a hunt at some point, but nothing right now. We could try to commission an artifact at some point too, I believe. Commission an artifact, yeah. It's going to take 100 coins though, and then it'll probably cost even more after that, so. Looks like we're winning the war, 42%, so whatever's going on around here or up here, we're somehow winning. So, good on you, Robert Baratheon. Some people wanted to take a look at who some of the best warriors in Westeros are. So obviously one of them is going to be Robert Baratheon, of course, here. He's at 41. Pretty massive prowess there. Skilled fighter, Herculean. He's got really good traits there. but he is not the strongest fighter. Obviously, there are a few others who are comparable to him at the very least. One of them, of course, being Sir Arthur Dane, the Sword of the Morning here with 42. So one higher than Robert. Obviously, he's the Sword of the Morning. I mean, Arthur Dane, well-known knight, died at the Tower of Joy, but him and two other Kingsguard defending the tower with Lyanna Stark in it, going up against Ned Stark and 6 of his bannermen, 3 against 7, and I'm pretty sure he himself, Arthur Dane, slew a few men himself, and the only survivors were Ned Stark and Howland Reed. So 3 men killed 5 others, and almost would have killed the rest of them had things gone slightly differently. So obviously Sir Arthur Dane, the Sword of the Morning, very powerful, and he does have the sword Dawn, the illustrious weapon of House Dane, forged from the heart of a falling star. So pretty impressive fighter, but he is not even the best or the most dangerous warrior. That's debatable, but there is one warrior who does have higher prowess, and that is Gregor Clegane, the Mountain That Rides. As you can see here, 44 prowess. I do not want to face this guy in a duel. Not only is he got extreme prowess, but he is a monster. A horrific monster, and that is even at this age, he is a horrible person, and we will do our best not to find him on the field of battle, because he would cut us in half. He would probably just take one swing and cut us in half. So as far as I can tell, and I imagine that this is the case, this is probably the highest prowess character in the mod. I can't think of any characters who would be higher. Maybe Sir Barristan Selmy. Let's see if he's in the court here. Gerald the White Bull. No, he's not going to be higher. He pretty famed commander of the Kingsguard, but not particularly skilled warrior. Barristan Selmy, no, 42. So Barristan Selmy, obviously one of the most skilled warriors in all of Westeros. Even at this age, even at 48 years of age, if he was younger, he probably would be even better than Gregor Clegane, but it's just the sheer size of that man that gives him the advantage over his opponents. But Sir Barristan, Robert Baratheon, Arthur Dane, probably the strongest warriors, and just true knights of the Seven Kingdoms. So that was for all of you guys who wanted to know who the best warrior was. What do we have here? A raven from the Crownlands bring news not conceivable since the time of old Valyria. The Iron Throne, the Red Keep, King's Landing, and its hundreds of thousands of inhabitants in an instant were no more. A ball of green fire a ball of fire green as an emerald consumed the city in its entirety. The roar of the explosion echoing from the Eyrie to High Garden. While some rumor the Mad King Aerys orchestrated the plot, others yet blame those who rose up against the crown. Rumors aside, there is one truth. King's Landing is nothing but ash and rubble. Well, look at that. Look at that indeed. Those of you who watch this show will have some idea of what this all means and what is happening here. And obviously this is not canonical to what happened in this timeline. But apparently this playthrough, things are going a little differently. King Aerys, the Mad King, ignites the stores of wildfire that he had placed beneath King's Landing. And as you can see, hundreds of thousands dead in that explosion. He himself incinerated during the wildfire explosion of King's Landing. Prince Viserys dead as well during that. Probably, I can't even imagine what happened to all the Kingsguard there. I mean, some of them Some of them did survive. It looks like they were not in the city, probably protecting Rhaegar and others, but I can't even imagine how many lords and common folk were slain in what happened here. That is wild. That's gonna make for an interesting change to what happens in this story here. The city itself is just completely destroyed, still burning, fires still raging. Anybody who survived the initial blast probably dead in the fires that raged afterwards. That is horrific. Paxter wishes to pay for his freedom. I mean, the war is winding down. I think we can potentially accept that. And as you can see, now King Rhaegar is the ruler of the Iron Throne. He was not in King's Landing when that happened. But, I mean, the war is essentially over. That's like using a nuke, basically. But they used it on their own side. Or King Aerys did, at the very least. I don't think Rhaegar has much chance of winning this war, and when he loses, well, we'll see what Robert Baratheon does with him. No Battle of the Trident in this playthrough, but we shall see how the rest of the events of the War of the Usurper plays out. So, yeah, here we go. So as you can see, everything here in King's Landing is just a ruin. Ruins. The whole city completely destroyed in that wildfire explosion. Lord Hoster Tully invites us to a feast in Riverlands. Of course we will attend. Every guest is gathered in the Great Hall, and Lord Hoster welcomes us. Although the war is not yet done, we are gathering up the lords of the Riverlands, probably to feast and to prepare for the final excursion to win this war on the side of Robert Baratheon. So let us continue time here and continue the feast. I wonder if any interesting events will happen in the meantime. We can increase our own crown authority. I think we're going to do that. A secret truth has reached a light of day. My vassal Lord Colmar has an extramarital affair with Lady Lyanna. Oh, fornicator. The old gods will judge these sinners. Yeah, see, Garth, this little child is a bastard son. Who would have known? Well, obviously we cannot have an adulterer as our chancellor. Obviously, Lord Colmar is not going to get that position either, so I think we're going to put Theobald, the man who just happens to look quite a bit like us here, in charge of that. He's quite good at it, as you can see, 24. Nice little bonus. So he might be a commoner, but he has a way with words and with the letters as well. What is his story? Where does he come from? Who knows? That's a good question. We do have some money now. We could commission an artifact. Replace your eye with a gem? Maybe not yet. I don't think we're that ostentatious. We will want to forge an artifact, and I think we're going to want a weapon. Yeah, let's get a weapon here. Forley appears to be deep in thought before bowing deeply. It's both an honor and a privilege to forge you a weapon. He speaks in a dignified way, but there's a glimmer of excitement in his eyes that betrays his serious demeanor. Tell me, what's your preferred way of fighting with a weapon? I would forge something that would suit you best. Something that can both slash and pierce flesh. I think we're going to try for a sword, probably. Indeed, let's try to get ourselves a sword, or maybe even just a good dagger would be useful as well. Time rolls on here. Oh, 94%. So yeah, it looks like Rhaegar is not going to die in battle against Robert as had happened in the books, but he is going to lose this war, and he's going to lose it probably very, very soon here. It has come to my attention that your Sir Tyen is working to fabricate a spurious claim on the lordship of Saladin. Lord Colmar, you are a fornicator. I don't think you should be talking about any of this. Learn your place, Lord Colmar. The Brackens are our enemies. Shut your mouth and keep your philandering away from my court. War score went down a little bit. Looks like the Targaryens are still trying to hold out, but we do have the advantage now that the Westerlands have joined in. King's Landing, just a wasteland. Will it ever be repaired? Oh, and what happened here? Huh? Rhaegar Targaryen slain by Lord Powermount Roberts in a duel. So he was killed by Robert Baratheon, probably, maybe not in the Trident. Let's see, where's Robert right now? Let's see where this battle might have taken place. Looks like he's back in Storm's End. I'm guessing the battle this time may have taken place, somewhere probably around this area, maybe around Wendwater Fork or Root Vine here, somewhere along there. I imagine that the forces of Lord or King Rhaegar met Robert, and Robert slew him in that battle. So not everything going completely differently than happened in the books. And now King Aegon the Sixth rules, but we'll see how long that lasts. Not for long, I imagine. So here we are, and we are building up our forces here. We've got our money. I'm going to keep saving up our money because we might want to spend some to assist our the person forging our sword. But war score ticking back down. The fights, they're still holding out. The fight is not over yet. Oh, and look at that. Even the Greyjoys have joined in once the fight was won. Cowardly Ironborn. We will continue this war here, and just the sieging is going to go a lot faster with all these new armies here, and obviously that should give us the win eventually. I don't think the forces of the Targaryens have much left in them. Their ruler is just a child, and they're going to be relying on the lords of his court, the various lords of the Lord Commander of the King's Guard, his Hand of the King, though they are the ones who are ruling, but that is a lost cause. I've prowled through documents both ancient and of less certain provenance. I finally have enough material to make the case that you are the rightful Lord of Salydance. We can present that claim. All of Stouthstone will be mine. I don't think we can justify that. Present my claim on Salydance. It's going to put us in debt a little bit, but that's fine for now. We'll get out of it pretty quickly here. We make a decent amount of money each month. My lord, my Captain Forley approaches me with wide grin. I have toiled and forged over many days and nights, but finally my work is done. He presents me with an object wrapped in cloth, and as I unveil what is hidden, my eyes grow wide. A wrought iron dagger of fine craftsmanship. The hilt is engraved to display religious symbols, albeit simplified. So this is going to give us +1 prowess, +1 personal scheme chance. It's not a particularly good weapon, but it's better than nothing. We will equip it for now. We might even give it out as a gift to like our son or something at some point, but for now we'll use it because it is better than nothing. But to that end, the war shall continue on, and we did have a few pretty epic moments in this episode already. So I think we are going to end it here and see what happens with the rest of the War of the Usurper. So, until the next episode, thank you for watching, and I will see you then.